Okay, so I have a few things I want to talk about. One of the things I want to start with, because this is like a strange occurrence that has happened that for me personally, that I had not experienced. And also, apparently, my daughter's not here, but she's coming next weekend. So, anyways, something that has happened that I had never experienced before, and is like a newer thing, and it's kind of strange, is when somebody who's been following you for a long time all of a sudden gets offended by something you've said, but it's also something you've said 100 times. So it's kind of strange and surreal for one thing, and it's also like when you are listening to somebody and you're not vibing with them. To me, it's just, move on. I really don't understand the whole concept of coming in and attacking somebody and calling names and stuff like that. Like, that is extreme. And I've talked about that kind of stuff so many times. So it's weird that anybody who would be listening to me would be doing that kind of stuff. Like, I think the people who are listening to me like see the same things I see, but I mean, it's not at all like that. And then some people, I don't know if it's kind of like take ownership of you or something and think that you should say what they think instead of what you think. And not everybody has to agree with what someone thinks. Like, I think I probably have some people who watch me who are waiting for Jesus, and they can get over it. They can know in their own self what they're waiting for. It doesn't matter what some other person thinks or says. Like, people have to be strong enough in their own beliefs that nobody else can affect them. And so when people are being affected and then lashing out in anger, which is exactly what I talked about, what was going on in the world, as people are kind of overreacting to situations, like all of this stuff is coming out of them. And it's being like these triggers are happening so that stuff can come to the surface. But for what people need to see, and then especially how much I've talked about like not blaming others for your triggers of how you're feeling. And so it's just kind of weird. But no matter what, I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to speak what's truthful to me. Is how I started this. This is what I've said from the beginning. And I'm not going to go off of that. I'm not going to try and say something that I think is going to please somebody else. And if I think that the whole concept of demons is a created illusion that people have to label energy, and that also is a creation of said thing that you fear the most, because now you've labeled it and you've given it a name and you've created it. People don't understand that they're the creators of the monsters under the bed. So, we all understand life at different, maybe I just haven't caught up to that yet. Maybe I just am unaware, of certain things. But this is what I know, and this is what I'm going to share is my truth, my story, my reality. And I block people who come at me, and then on here it's, I understand that it's public and I can't really do anything about it. But all I'll say is I don't accept abuse. I accepted a lot of things when I was in my learning stage, but I learned a lot of stuff. And I don't accept abuse. One time, you're done. I'm not engaging. So if your attack on me is worth it, I'm just going to delete it. It shows more about somebody else than it does about me. And then coming in and showing your attitude towards me and trying to say hurtful things, that's just totally inappropriate to me. And it's, so anyways, don't be looking to engage with me. Like, I got no response. This was my response. And it kind of goes out to everybody else. Like, I talk about being mindful of how we treat others, and I believe it. I'm not just sitting here saying stuff that I don't believe. I talk about things I do believe. And so, anyways, I watched this movie this morning. It's on YouTube. I had seen a clip, and it's called Lockdown 2025. And so I had seen a clip somebody had shared, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch this. So I went and looked it up, and I watched it. I really liked it. And I shared a couple of clips on TikTok that are very pertinent to the stuff I talk about. But somebody went in, and I don't know if it's the person I had seen their clip, but they said they watched it and they didn't really like it. I really liked it. So it's got mixed reviews. But to me, what I saw was kind of like an artistic way that they were showing why things had to happen, like in a micro macro way. They were had it like all of humanity could be played out in this one family. And so I thought that that was cool how they did it, because they used some certain things to make a point about, it's greed. It's this, the lack of priorities when you just prioritize money. I saw this commercial the other day, and it just really hit home too. It was this Audi commercial, this new electric Audi. And it's, oh, fucking fancy, super cool, and doing this cool drive. I don't even know. Wasn't even looking. This kind of stuff irritates the fuck out of me. But I'm pretty sure it was like some, beautiful scenic drive. Or it could have been fast moving in the city, whatever. They got to play it up, whatever. Probably both. And what they're trying to do is create this luxurious item that is like it's a little too far out of reach. So it's that goals. It's I'm going for it. I'm moving towards that. And then how much people start desiring something that they can't have. And the whole creation of the luxury behind it. There was even this thing that study that somebody had done, and they set up this whole store like it was super, super fancy, with the minimalist kind of whole idea of the store. Only all of the shoes that they put out were Payless shoes, but they set it up totally different. And then the people came in and they invited all like kind of rich, snobby kind of people. And the people would come in and pick up the shoes and talk about how great they were made. Oh my God, these shoes are just fabulous. They're just one of a kind. They're so beautiful. Like it's so fucking much. And people create it. It was mental, and how embarrassed they were when they got told what was really there. So anyways, but that is what they're doing as well with the cars. Like, let's make some Mercedes. Let's make all these fancy electric cars where everybody's like, oh man, I want one of those. Man, that is fucking cool. Well, there's no way anybody's gonna be able to buy one of those, but you start desiring it. You start putting your energy towards it. Start bringing out people like the Kardashians driving around in them and stuff. It's all marketing. And it's also you focus your energy towards something, and the way they market it with this, like, it's a little out of reach. It's a luxurious thing. You're a peon, but you get up here, you get some status, and then you're worth something. Then you're worth something. You're worth an Audi, electric Audi. So they set up this whole the chasing the carrot situation, and so many people just jump right on and do it, and the commercial, to me, see, that's what all I could hear in the commercial was what they were setting up for people to all of a sudden, oh man, that is a cool car. Yeah, I want one of those cars. And they just, it's setting the desire in the collective is how they do it. And so is what they have created, this whole shallow world. In this movie, even the guy, his thing is this always playing the lottery. And while I was watching that, I was like, really, seriously, the whole lottery concept is just chase money, chase money. Oh my gosh, money's the answer, money's the answer. And why, when people win the lottery, they're usually broke within a couple years, because there's something inside of them they're trying to feed. And it isn't healthy. And that is why when they get the money, they just spend it trying to fill themselves up by buying things, buy this, buy that, and then I'm successful. And so they're chasing this illusion of what makes a man, kind of. And so then, I think probably some people get kind of show offy and just spend frivolously and stuff, but the money just goes. And that is why all of this stuff it won't just be money just thrown at people like, oh, here's all your money. Here, you get $10 million. You were fucked your whole life, so now here's $10 million, which I swear the money is going to be divvied up a lot different once this stuff goes down, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to die. Like, there's just no doubt about it. There's way too many people who are just completely oblivious, and they're going to panic when shit goes down. They are going to panic, and they also showed that so well in the movie. Is they had the one son who's older, and he was a YouTuber who does conspiracy theorists, and his family thinks he's crazy. And he kept saying, oh, this is what's going on, and stuff like that. And the dad, completely oblivious, but angry and violent, running at his gun. Outside, you just hear guns and explosions. The EBS comes on, stay in your home. It's martial law. You'll be shot. People are being shot in the streets, and utter chaos. And that is what will become, because the people are going to panic. I swear to God, even just watching that, it's like, this is like every Twilight Zone episode I ever watched as a child. Like, that message was put into my head over and over and over and over from the time I was a child. You don't get caught up in the chaos. The chaos becomes its own beast. People lose their minds when they become fearful. And I swear to God, this is the thing with these iodine pills. I just can't get it out of my head any more than so many of the other things that they put in my head. And this one I sure can't get out. And it is the big sell on get the iodine, get the iodine. Well, they're actively trying to murder us. So I really am suspicious right off the bat. Especially, they make a lot of money off of us buying drugs. So then that's another red flag right there. And then they get everybody to get these, and in their state of fear, they suddenly trust them. Oh, I didn't trust them with this, but I do trust them with this, and not even understand. Like, any of us who have any involvement in ufology from the beginning knows that that is against the rules here. Since the 50s, they have been deactivating the nukes and the missiles and stuff these people have tried to send. Because there is other beings all around us. This isn't just about us, no matter how much we want to think it is. There is beings all around us. The inner earth, like every sinkhole that keeps opening up, keeps showing there's a whole world below your world. There's a whole world above your world. They're going to open the sky to show us there's world upon world. It's so cool in this binaural beats or whatever. The other one, when I was talking the other day, and it was showing how all of that was moving around, and it was showing in the brain. Well, then I had put up that other one again today, or sometime recently, and the way it was moving. But it was, while I was saying something, it just really hit me that is what we are. That is everything that there is these kind of like areas where there's a lot of energy. So energy centers where there's a lot of energy, and all of these lines and fibers connecting, all of them, like where people think like there's portals and stuff. There's all of this connection of the circuitry of this galaxy, of this world, the solar system. And so it is in all of the condensed areas, like that would be Earth, this condensed energetic place. But that would be more of the macro. If you went into the micro, you have all of that whole circuitry inside of you. It's an expansion. It's just like that thing where I said, like those hands when they showed that. It's an expansion. It is a transformation. It is like a morphing. And so it is Everything is this movement of morphing of self. Like, if that makes any sense. Makes sense to me. I just don't know how to explain everything. I can see it clearly. I just don't know how to say all the stuff, how to really get people to see. But I think sometimes just saying words, if you're supposed to hear it, you're going to hear it in your head differently. Like, you'll see it. Like, it'll just make sense. You'll just understand what I'm saying, or you won't. And if you don't, it is just not on the same vibration. If you're on the same vibration or open to expansion, then your brain is going to accommodate that. It's going to give you more information. So anyways, I can totally understand what it is that they're showing me and stuff. I just don't ever know if I'm explaining it right. So anyways, in this movie though, it definitely showed that it made mention. Not only did they have the whole lockdown thing and the EBS and people panicking and weapons and the truth coming out and people beginning to turn on each other, all of that playing out, and this is just in this one little thing. That's what I'm saying. It's like micro macro, but there was a whole thing about that they are poisoning us in the food, the water, the air. And a policeman came to the house and knocked on the door, and they said, "What's going on? What's going on?" And he said, "We just got an alert 6 hours ago that we've been under a chemical assault." See, that's what they will that is so on the table. So on the table. And you know what I really am thinking too is all of these chemicals, like, it's so nutty. I swear to God, when I see these people like 5D, it's 5D Earth, all of this beautiful sky, we got rainbow sky. It's like, that's chemicals. What are you talking about? And so and all these people, oh, look at this beautiful 5D sky we have now. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, not only are they putting all these chemicals in the sky, I think, to drench us with all of this poison and stuff, but also think about, like, they're setting up the perfect recipe for a huge explosion in the sky. All those chemicals, like, and I think they've been trying to make a tear in the firmament for a long time. It's like, dude, the humans will tear that shit open, and when we awaken, it will be the mass awakening that creates the tear it's the allowing the energy to change. So they can sit there and pound on it all day long. When you're low energy, low vibration and stuff, that's all you're going to be able to do. It's going to be us raising the vibration is what breaks the firmament. So anyways, the whole thing with the iodine thing is I feel like, so not only do they get all these people to buy them and everybody goes and gets them, like so many people have gotten them. And then when I say something, people are like, "Oh, well, yeah, I wouldn't take the government ones. I got mine off Amazon." But it is, the whole thing is the people aren't going in and doing their research. They're not going in and reading the labels and reading what are the contraindications, what are the dangers if I take this, what if I take this and I didn't need it, what's going to happen. Those are the things that people need to go in and do their research, and research about nukes and aliens and stuff. Like, look into the stuff so you can find your own peace. Don't do something because I say. Do it because you have gone and looked into it and you make your decision for yourself. I'm just saying you need to look into it, because what I see playing out is this same Hawaii thing. The Hawaii thing, it was kind of like they're constantly showing us. And so this big threat of you're all going to die in 10 minutes. Everybody hurry up. Take your pill. Take your pill. And if you want to save, if you want to make it, you better hurry up. And then all of a sudden, a few hours later, well, after all, it was not even a nuke. I mean, we're shocked. We're just all shocked here. We're sure. We're not sure what kind of weapon was used against us, but it's everyone stay in their houses, blah, 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 whatever their shit will be some movie shit. No doubt about it. But so when they do that, and now all these people have fucking Jim Jones shit, they all drank the Kool-Aid. They all took something they didn't need. And on top of that, the other chemicals, the other substances that are in a lot of people, the freaking creepy shit that is being in people's blood right now, it is so creepy. It is like they have put aliens inside of people to try and take them over, and they've renamed they've renamed it now because of their new creation that they think they've made. And it's the whole thing is just, I swear, when you go all the way back to the Sumerian tablets, you understand that was how we were created, and so they think they can just keep doing this to us. But we are the ones who have to stand up, just like in Westworld, and say, no, you're not doing this to us anymore. You're not testing on us. And we are the ones who have to step in. We're the ones who have to step up. We're here for a human experience. We're here to design humanity. We're here to create what humanity is to become. And so there's so much involved in everything that is happening, and it all has to do with people starting to think for themselves and stuff. But so if they even did that, and then if they said, well, we have an antidote, then they've got their whole thing, well, you got to have a good social score, you don't get the antidote. Or it costs money and the people don't have money. I mean, people are already homeless and carless and everything. Which, I don't know if I already said this, but, I swear to God, if I was in Florida or something, I would go in and rent a U-Haul. I would put in as much of, you set up the place like a little bedroom, a little house inside, get some clothes and stuff, drive deep out into the forest where you can't be seen, and set up shop, take a grill with you, take stuff that you're going to need, set up shop, just move out from, now they got Julia coming, and it's supposed to be way worse, and now they have this huge cold front coming in from Canada or something, which poor Alaska, you're going to hit them already, like, oh my God, these motherfuckers are such bitches, man. They are just full on going, but this cold front is supposed to bring freezing temperatures today's Sunday, so this week. So they're going to start hitting us with the storms. That'll be power outages and stuff. So, I mean, we need the big thing to happen so that we can quit getting all of these little things. But these little things are what's leading up to the big thing. And it's all energetic, And so, anyways, the next week is going to be rough for a lot of people. If another hurricane is coming in, they've got, I just think, because all these people, like, they don't have their cars anymore. They don't have, like, everything got lost in the flood. I would be figuring out how to get the fuck out, especially before Julia, and getting out. And this stuff is not going to matter anymore. Everything is about to turn so chaotic. I'm telling you, when people wake up, they are going to go in and start burning down hospitals, doctors' offices, pharmacies. I mean, there's going to be people who, you just got to think about these people who have been in such denial for so long, and no matter how many times that different people would say something, they call them liars and get fights with people. Like, they dug in hard, and they think they're right, and then when it flips upside down and they have to see that they weren't, and there's just so much stuff that is going to come up. And there is, a good reason that there's going to be so much anger. It's part of the process of grief. And so they're going to have to go through it. And there's going to be a lot of violence and pain. And there's going to be people who are going to just kill somebody just because they wanted to kill them for a long time. Like, who knows? I mean, there's going to be people who are going to do some shitty things. That's inside of them. And that's for them to witness in themselves. And it just even gets creepier and creepier, is that anything that anybody does to you, you already were contracted in. Like, in your inner knowing, you knew. I think sometimes people can even be around a murderer or something. And like, there's a lot of these stories, because I watch a lot of Lifetime, and so many people, like, they know that they are with somebody who's dangerous, even when other people don't, because they're dangerous to them. Like, they're they've got like a soul sense, of knowing this person is going, I mean, in a lot of these cases, it ends up being the person who kills them. So, but they already felt uncomfortable around the person, even when nobody else did. So it's just as trippy, but I mean, and we don't want to even believe that, but all these bad things that happen between people are all contracted. Both people, everybody's playing a part, and everything has to play out. It's how we learn. It's how souls, expand, how they become more aware and conscious of themselves. And I just saw this cool little cartoon somebody did. It is like kind of the making of gods. When you expand as consciousness and you keep expanding, see, that's the whole expansion of the universe. Like there is probably souls that are way up in their inner knowing, way up at the top, that are waiting for all of this big explosion to happen, because it's going to propel them even into higher states of understanding. All these souls that are up there trying to communicate with us and sending us messages. And there's a lot are breaking through and having conversations with people. There's a lot of souls out there doing their part, and they're waiting for their expansion as well. So there's a huge, you can just see as it develops how much more you understand about your soul and yourself and this world. It's all part of this, the great awakening, the great expansion, the knowing coming into fruition. And so anyways, it is, that they showed the whole thing about the poisoning in the sky and the water, and when they're telling you, oh, drink the water, drink the water. I just, at the same time, we have studies coming out that shows that it's full of carcinogens and poisons and toxins and arsenic. And then they're, hurry and drink a glass, get an iodine pill and drink a glass. It's like, I mean, they're poisoning people. Like, so all I know is it is really important to do research into any of this stuff. Don't trust anything. Go in and look and see what's right for you. And it's always they're marketing something and they play on your fear to try and get you to overlook, to not look into something. And they use these techniques throughout our entire lives. And people have to start realizing and being aware. And it's so weird too, because I have the last couple days, I've had these love and light people, which there's so many people. I mean, even somebody who's been following me for a long time to come in and start saying stuff right now, then it is like, man, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Like, because I have a perspective of like a wave of something, and so like you can see something and then it's like there's like a wave of interference or something that these people who come in, love and light, love and light, I can't believe you're talking about this stuff, you're helping people create it. It's like you can look at things in so many different ways. You can look at it as that people are creating this instantaneously. There's creating this. I don't look at it like that at all. Like we are here playing like out a movie, a script. It's if you're on the timeline of this movie, then you're playing out this movie. Like I don't know what these people think. To me, the love and light is it's in your mind. It's where you find your peace of mind. That's love, and to constantly be kind and considerate to people. That's the love. That's the light to me. Like I don't get what they're saying, and when they're saying like the people are creating it, and then you have all these people coming to me and saying that they've been having these dreams about this happening since they were a child, and like there's so much of what people have been saying. So then to me, and like I've said before, my guides tell me something and then I look at it like And so to me, a lot of people's guides have been telling them this is going to go on. This is going to happen. Just like mine were telling me when I was a kid, this is an experiment. You're in a zoo. You're being experimented on and all of that stuff. So people were being told to prepare. This is for these events to come. And each person is going to have its own thing depending on its role in the movie. So some people can be getting a lot of information about certain things. So it all depends on what part you're playing. And so the people who think like, it's like, to me, the people's guides are giving them insight. Like, that's where you get this psychic ability. You can see things that are coming. And so to me, all these people see what's coming. Their guides, for all different reasons, are giving them this awareness of what's to come, whatever they want them to do, be prepared or whatever. And then these people who are also this love and light, it's like, well, do you understand about cycles and stuff? Like, you understand what's happening on the planet? Do you understand this is the end of times? This is the end of this, the way we've been controlled by time. This is the end of this time, this age in time. Like, it's the end of it. We're in a cycle, a reset. We're going into a new world. And I don't know. It just weirds me out when people say like that's pushing fear, because all I see is the people who have no awareness are the ones that panic the most when something comes out of the blue. The rest of us who are sitting here like on guard, like, oh, what's that noise? What's that noise? What's about to happen? We're more prepared. We're ready. But there's people who are just sitting there, watching TV and putting microwave popcorn in, getting some Oreos out, getting a couple Pepsis. They're just sitting there living their lives, not thinking about a damn thing. Those people, when shit goes down, those people will be in a full-blown panic. And I don't see why. I mean, definitely shit is going to go down. It has been going down consistently since I started speaking about it to my kids. This has been going on for years. And so stuff has been going. It's becoming accelerated. It's moving quicker. Time is moving quicker. Yesterday I was sitting here crocheting and I had this weird thing happen. It was even like I glitched. It was weird. It was just like it looked like in the movies. I was sitting there and all of a sudden it was like I did the same thing, like in my eyes kind of, it was weird. It was like, burr, burr, burr. It was so trippy. I was like, oh my gosh. And I keep having all of these weird things, like whatever they have done with the frequency, they have cranked it up 100%. I'm really curious if they've got these lines laid out here at my place, because I haven't seen the dig, but they have been, whatever they're doing behind the people behind me, they're doing something. Like it is so fucking thunderous loud all day and so extreme that I keep expecting there to be some sort of, like, they hit a gas line and there's going to be a huge explosion or something. Like, it's intense. Like, I can feel it. And I don't know if I'm picking up on just the anger in a lot of the neighbors, but they won't go into the next step of, taking a step towards what they want. And things have to get real bad. People just, they feel bad for wanting quiet, I guess. So, to me, it is, anything. I mean, seriously, anything can happen at any moment. But those people are, the people who are around me are going to freak the fuck out. Like, they're not going to have any idea, and there will be violence for sure. And there's so many of them out here who have guns, and hopefully, they're going to band together. But man, Twilight Zone, like, just watch some episodes. And The Day the Earth Stood Still, like, it was like a long Twilight Zone episode, but it's the same thing over and over, what people do when they panic. And it just weirds me out how these people, like the super spirits who are out there telling everybody, we got the super religious people who are trying to keep everybody on track, keep Jesus on everyone's tongue. And then we got the people who super spirituals who, I mean, I just had somebody tell me like they're doing the work. I'm not doing anything. It's like, go do your work then. Don't bother me anymore, okay? Because I'm doing mine. I'm doing what I am guided to do. I can't believe how rude some people can become, hateful. So, anyways, you know what, the love and light is like, just sit in oblivion and sit and meditate while the world destructs around you. It is like putting your head in the sand, and then for them to think like we're creating this right now. No, it's destined. Like, things are playing out the way they're supposed to play out. I mean, it's written. It's already been written. Like, I can't even tell you how many people now, oh, this time was written about by blah, 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 blah. Like, all of these prophets have written about what is going on right now. And besides the fact that the manifestation of something takes longer, like, it is more like, to me, for the collective, like all the way back when they started showing the Matrix, they planted those seeds in everybody's mind. And so then when stuff started going down, that is the different people's reference material. So then you go in and you start putting things together by that reference material. And so then, see, then you complete it. You complete it. So you complete the view of how it's supposed to be. So that is how they direct us, is that they show us these things and plant these seeds. Then we put it all together and we direct the energy into the direction that they created without us even knowing. But it isn't as instantaneously as like what it seems like that these people think, because the stuff that's instantaneous is your personal stuff, like where you have to find peace. There's a lot of people who can't find peace at this time of trying times, and this is the times that is pushing you in to meeting your to understand who your maker is. This is like your come to Jesus moments. That's what everything is happening for, to bring you to your knees so you can understand what is important and what is real. Because so many people were completely satisfied with living this dysfunctional life, chasing something that they couldn't get, and then creating anger and violence amongst themselves. And so things had to blow up to get people to realize. And that's what we're going through. It's just the awakening. But there will be lots of people who will pass. But death isn't what people think it is. It is not the end. I saw something that was really cool. I think it was either this morning or last night. But it was something about that, about death or something, and it not being the end. Is like, it's actually like your exit into your new future. It's like getting out of this movie that is very hard and going into a new one. That's all it is. It is these synapses in this whole synapse of energy that is creating these experiences. These experiences are beyond anyone's limiting mind can understand. To understand that this is a projection, this is a dream, that we're in a dream. That's all anything can literally be, is a dream. The creation of the matter is the more denser, the more dense the atoms become, but it still is all an illusion, because nothing is real. It's all a figment of our imagination, but that doesn't mean we're not real. We're real. I have come out of my body, and I was exactly the same person. I was not different when I came out of my body. And that was another thing too, in that little cartoon that I saw where the guy died and he's asking, well, what does this all mean or whatever? And the guy told him that every life you live, which you're living them all at once, that every life you live teaches you and helps you to expand, to become more. And that is the whole thing. It is all just about this learning so you can become more of who you are, and more defined of an understanding of who and what you are. But the whole thing is I don't, I'm kind of lost, I think. I don't even know. Sometimes I just say, like, I keep trying to just say this stuff, but then I'm like, what am I talking about? I don't even know. So, but I think you get what I'm saying. That there's a purpose to all of this stuff that is going on, and none of it is real, but it's all real because it's real to us. This feels real, so it makes it real to us. But it is no more real than a dream when you go into a dream. And it's the same thing when you die or you leave this reality. It's the same thing as waking up from a dream. And it's just like, oh, it was all a dream. It was just a dream. But everything of existence is a dream because it's all just synapses. It's all just this energetic. It's like this, what we're at is all of us focusing on this energetic kind of explosion of a experience, and we all go into that same one so that we can play a part in the experience, but we're projecting ourselves into it. We aren't really in it like how we think we are. But I think that is what gets people so freaked out and so scared of everything, because they think like they're flesh and blood and they can be hurt. And then they're unsure of what everything else is. But everything else is everything. This right here is just limitations. It's like one dream out of 10 zillion dreams. And so there is, and that is one of the biggest things that people need to learn and realize when they're in the dream, is that it is temporary, it is over fast. And if you did not appreciate it when you had it, then you're going to be, feel a sense of loss when it's gone. You'll feel a sense of loss when somebody goes. When anything is gone from the experience, it feeds that sense of loss. But that sense of loss is so that you can learn more about how do you overcome loss. Who do you become if you lose everything? If somebody does something to you, whatever it is, who do you become? And that is so you can show yourself. It's not so you can show some God up there that you deserve to be at the feet of his feet for eternity. It is so that you can understand yourself. And that is where I'm just like, it's hard to explain things to people when everything in their understanding is all thought of like in this 3D world. Like they need to stay inside the dollhouse to try and understand. And that is this whole thing with the 3D, 4D. It's your ability to perceive without those limitations. And so it is this morphine expansion of perception. And so there's just so many people, and I'm hoping that when this awakening happens, because so many people have stayed so stagnant throughout it and just got stuck and focused on what was scaring them the most, but I'm hoping that as this expansion of the Great Awakening is going to really open people's minds to being able to understand more higher concepts of life, because it is very primitive thinking to be in fear of devils and all of these different things that are out there that are out there to get you or whatever. That is how you focus your energy. Like if you live from fear and you focus on that, then that is going to be your experience. And so if you like, to me, even as a kid, like as a little kid, and especially when you are around people who have a certain attitude about supernatural and stuff like that. And so when I lived in tons of ghost houses. And besides, God, my nose is itchy. oh, so itchy. Besides, I was already having beings talking to me. I was already having conversations with beings. But then, like living in a haunted house, see, I could take that awareness and turn that ghost into a creature of the night that I was scared to death of. And every time they made a sound, I would be in fear that they're trying to kill me or whatever. So I create that energy for myself. And so, anyways, it was like I always knew it was like up to me to look at it differently. And there has been some ghosts that I have been around that definitely were scary, uh, especially the one when I was a teenager that attacked me. That one was really scary. His energy was so scary. It was so creepy. And that's the thing, you're a creepy person in life, and then you don't cross over and you stay on this realm and harass, like you're still a creep. You're a creep still. So you're going around with your creepy energy. And some people like could be doing it and not even have awareness that they've died. And they're just trying to, like that one woman was talking about, that lady out pounding on the window trying to get in the house where she thought her baby was, and not being able, I mean, like even as a spirit, that she couldn't, she had all this confusion, and she couldn't control her energy, because she shouldn't have been held back from the house. She should have been able to go in. But see, it's all by awareness, and it's like you can see all of these different consciousnesses, how there's different places that they can get trapped if they don't have awareness. And I think that's why that there are so many people like me right now trying to get people to wake up, to increase their awareness. Because even if you're about to pass, you want to have awareness of what and who you are, so you don't get into some sort of trap or some sort of, but even if, like right now, so many people passing, I'm sure there's like all sorts of beings all around us that are there. Like I'm sure they know, and they're more escorting people and helping people, like clear the space, clear the space. Okay, come over this way. And people are like, wait, what's going on? Who are you? What am I doing here? Where am I? I got to get to work. A lot of that going on. No, you just come in here and sit in this class, and they just sit there, and they have to be explained where they are and what's going on. And it's a process. And so it is really important for people to understand, so that when they do come out of their body and then they're going in, it's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm out of my body. What's going on? Like, what happened? And, and the whole thing too is it's different with space and time. So, you're trying to go and see people, and things are moving. They're not in sync anymore. You're not in their same dream. You're outside of the dream. And so, but there's just, there's a lot to just learn. And that is what we're here to do. We're here to learn. And we're here to understand more about this world, about who and what we are. And all this stuff is happening, is meant to happen. It's supposed to happen. It's what is the creation of change. It is the pain and suffering to be purged out, for people to recognize the part they play, so they can heal those parts. Because it really is, we're going into a new world. And not even just going into it, we're creating it. We are the creators of this new world. So I really am thinking, like, I don't know, they can just do more with those nuke threats and stuff. I mean, they kill off a bunch more people, telling them to take things they don't need to take. Like, I don't know how long they can just keep killing so many people right in front of us. But all these different souls have to realize things for themselves. And it is awakening is a lot of, it's a lot of work. It's doing work. It's becoming aware. It's like there's a lot to it. And so anybody who does any part of it, is doing a lot of good work. And so nobody should feel bad or anything about what they are doing. They need to just, really focus on themselves and not focus on the nonsense that they're trying to do to just use your energy and to kill a bunch of people in a time of confusion and fear, because that is a whole thing for them as well. So, anyways, the more I think that people really open their minds to this world being a supernatural, fantastic, hard to understand place, and that they aren't just, these little beings that are out spinning in space and they're the only ones there and there is no communication and all this nonsense. It's all some BS. This has been our lives since humans were created. And, these experiments and stuff that they've been doing to us, it's time for it to end. It's time for us to take a stand against this. And, and it had to be extreme. Like, this is extreme what they're doing right now, renaming beings and stuff. That's extreme. That's absurd. That is the stuff that wakes people up. And it's going to continue to be horrifying and horrible, absurd, and treacherous. And the tyranny is not going to stop until the energy turns the other direction. And that is what that is going to be the big game changer. That is going to be is going to be the game changer in this world, but it is also not going to be the end of the chaos. We're still going to have to go through a huge amount of pain and suffering and chaos. So anyways, I don't know for how long somebody needs to be prepared. I am going to just continue, like, once this shit goes down, depending on, if I have to be evacuated, if, I mean, that's kind of just like you wait and see. You don't know what you're going to be hit with. So it's kind of just, we'll see. And once that stuff goes down, and then I'm going to, as long as I can stay here, I'm just going to stay in my house. And then even when I just think it's going to be dangerous for a while. I think if you don't want to go out and interact with people who, like right now, people are already completely crazy. People are going to be way crazier. And so it is going to be, to me, it's not someplace I'm going to go out. I don't want to go shopping with some of these people. Like, I had enough interactions over the last couple of years. People freaking out, like screaming because you don't have one of these on and stuff like that. So, no, I'll stay home. I don't want any interactions with people who are losing their minds. It's, when people are just losing their minds, it's just they're completely unstable. There's, they're glitching out, they're losing it. And it takes a lot of reeling it in, and that mindful mastery of keeping your emotions in check. And so it is, checking in with yourself and processing and healing. And that is the release of all of this built up energy that so many people carry. But it's going to come out in some pretty perverse ways, I think. So anyways, we'll see. I really think everything is super close. Like, I mean, they've already got so many deadlines is the thing, like Joe Bucks or whatever starting in December, and January is the lawless law, and whatever. There's more stuff. Like, there's definitely, to me, there's lines in the sand. So I think this stuff is going to just like really start picking up, really start going fast, and really get crazy. And there's going to be a big popping off. That's for sure. I think that is just idiotic to think that you can just sit in meditation and get everybody to focus on light and love. Like, it has to be so much bigger than that. People need to realize their own power and start pulling free from the system. They got to pull free from the schools, pull free from their jobs. And they can't do that. They're very attached and in fear and scared and crying and don't know what to do. So just go sit and, focus on love and light and see where that gets you, I guess. So I don't know. I say this is a time for growth and healing, and everything that is happening in the world is to promote that inside of each of us. So everything that triggers me, I spend time talking about it with my guides and getting direction and information of what it is they want me to get from something, what it is they're trying to show me. So anyways, that's what I do. So I'll be back tomorrow as long as we have power. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the longer it pushes out, the longer, that it goes. It's like the closer we're getting. Like it's getting so where the window is getting smaller and smaller. Like it's gonna go. It's I don't know when. I mean, it could go in 10 minutes. Suddenly the alarms could come on. Like it can just like that. So anyways, be prepared. And what's nuts too is how many fucking times I've gotten prepared. Like, okay, I've got my half and half. I've got my joints. I've got Stella's medicine. And then right now, like Stella's medicine's not supposed to be here. I want to order an order from Grove. And then, because it will stop everything. I mean, the mail, everything will stop. It is going to be like the world is going to be like a train derailment. It's like we're screeching up right now. The train is screeching and then it's going to collide, but everything will stop. Once this happens, everything will stop and nothing is going to work. So anyways, I'm hoping Stella's meds, I thought they'd be in here yesterday, but now it's not going to be. But every time you get all stocked up and you're like, okay, I'm ready. And then it goes through weeks and then it's like, oh my God, now I got to get restocked up again. And, to me, it is, if it goes down and I'm not stocked up, then that's how it was supposed to go down. I was supposed to just trust the universe, don't be scared. Don't worry and fret. Everything you do is supposed to just be so you can get yourself calmed down. Like, I'm prepared as I can be. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And that's the attitude we have to go into it with. And remember, you're an eternal warrior. There is nothing to fear. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.